What's up, everybody? This is GreyMan here with Medical Monday. So the topic for today is going to be hypothermia, and the reason I've decided to kind of dig into this topic is because of what's going on up in the northeastern region of the United States, and I think it's relevant. So, some of you guys might, know some things about hypothermia. Hopefully, maybe I'll touch on a few things you may not know. You can kind of use different examples. Hypothermia can come in at you in different ways. Let's say you wake up one morning, you're looking out the window, it's snowing outside, you want to take the dog out for a walk, and you go out there, and you're in the woods with your dog, you're enjoying yourself, you trip, you may break your leg, or something happens to you, and you're stuck, you have no communication or whatnot, and hypothermia can become a real thing in that scenario. But also, there's so many other scenarios that hypothermia can affect you, and it affects people differently. Young people versus old people versus, different sizes and frames of people, infants. There's a lot of different things in how it affects, and hypothermia, how it affects you in general. So let's kind of dive into this, and I got notes all around me and stuff like that, but let's go. So basically, the definition of hypothermia is caused by prolonged exposure to very cold temperatures. When exposed to cold temperatures, your body begins to lose heat faster and than it's produced. Lengthy exposure will eventually use up your body's stored energy, which leads to lower body temperature. So basically saying when your body temperature reaches a certain degree, I'm trying to think, I think it's 95 degrees, which is, a mild form of hypothermia. Certain things start to take place in regards to that. And then you have more of a severe hypothermia when your body temperature kind of falls around the 86 degree mark, which is not good at all. And this can happen slowly, and this can happen rapidly depending on the situation. Depending, if you're in a cold environment and the wind is blowing really heavily, that wind chill can make it happen faster. If you fall into an icy, thing of water, let's say you're ice fishing, or you're just happen to be crossing a creek, and you hit a deep end, and you're just being exposed to that cold water. Some of the things that you can look for to kind of gauge an idea of hypothermia in itself, some of the symptoms and stuff like that could be stuff like shivering and cold, pale, dry skin, apathy, disorientation, irrational behavior, slow and weakening of the pulse. In many extreme cases, the heart may stop, and that is a worst case scenario. Hopefully you can prevent that from happening, and we're going to go over some prevention, or not even prevention, but ways that you can kind of like kick back that hypothermia from kicking in, setting in, and whatnot. Anyways, and that's basically the aim. If you're experiencing hypothermia, or if you're trying to treat someone who's going through hypothermia, you have some options to help this person. Because you want to, basically prevent the person from losing body heat. You want to rewarm them, relatively quickly. You want to, and then after you do this, you want to hopefully, get emergency help. Be in an ambulance or anything like that. 911, EMTs, paramedics. Whoever you call that arrives on the scene. I mean, some places, on the mountains, they get airlifted and whatnot. So, all right, so let's kind of go over some specifics in regards to it. There's some do's and don'ts with hypothermia. Some of the first things you might want to do is to, if you have wet clothes on, you want to kind of remove these wet clothes on, but then you want to wrap this person in some sort of material. I mean, that's why these things like this, come in extremely handy. Any type of, something that's going to retain body heat or something like that, that's going to, you can wrap them up, try to keep them warm. If you can, start a fire. Various other things like that, man. Also, you can also give them like a high energy food. It sounds weird, but you can fact check me. You can look into this, but chocolate works really good. Little pieces of chocolate to carry in your bag. Now, I don't suggest it depending on your environment. Chocolate melts easily, so be cautious on how you store chocolate, maybe small pieces or whatnot. But chocolate will also is something that you can give to a person. Basically, it's a high energy food that kind of rewarms them, if that makes any sense. Just like something like some soup or some warm coffee, but which I wanted to take a sip of. But it depends on if you're, if you're treating them outdoors, if you're treating them indoors. If you find someone who's in hypothermia outdoors and you can bring them to a warmer environment, that's always the best case in regards to that. Anyways, so let's kind of go into a few other things that we can do. And because, like I said, if you're outdoors or you're indoors, there's certain things that you would do differently. So when outdoors, if you can possibly, like I said, if you can take that person inside, that would be probably the best option. And you want to do that as quickly as possible. You want to protect the person if you're outside. You want to, let's say, get some pine needles or something to get them off that cold ground itself, because that's gonna, just like when you're camping and you're in a tent, you put layers so that you keep your body off the ground, or a hammock or anything like that that kind of keeps them off the ground to try to retain more body heat. You can put dry branches. You can put, if you have plastic bag, anything that's going to try to insulate that person from the ground. You also want, like I said, you want to remove any wet clothing. And I know, and some people, I don't know if anybody carries spare clothing or spare jackets or things like that inside of their in their bug out bags or whatnot. But like I said, that's when some of those, those emergency blankets would come in handy, because, you got to get that wet clothing off, especially because it's making it happen faster. The hypothermia, it's cooling the body a lot faster. Sorry, I'm trying to be thorough and think through as I'm saying things. So if you see me pause and kind of ponder a little bit, but I just want to make sure that I'm giving the proper information out. And like I've always stated, I'm not a medical professional. This is just an opinion thing, and things that I've learned and things that I've experienced and used or practiced myself. Let me see, where am I at? I'm looking at my notes here. If you have the capability, also, I'm looking here down at my notes, and I know some people may not have this capability, but if you can check the person's vitals. You can check their pulse rate, their breathing. Basically, you want to do this kind of hopefully while you're waiting for someone, an EMT or someone medical professional to arrive on the scene and to extract that person into a hospital or something like that, hopefully, and get things taken care of. So, kind of bouncing around a little bit, looking at my notes and stuff. All right, so if you're in a home, or if you're able to take this person in your car, if there's an accident and this person, you find them on a ditch on the side of a road or whatnot, you can put them in your car, or if you have a cabin or a house right up the road. You can cover the person if you have wool blankets and other blankets to, kind of warm the person. And also, you want to try to warm the room as well, depending on how you keep your house, because I know, depending if you live up north and down south, some people keep their houses at certain temperatures. Usually, the most common temperature that kind of would help is around 77 degrees, if that makes sense. And I know everything I'm saying is in Fahrenheit, just because I'm on the the lower 48, as they call it. But I think 77 degrees translates into 25 degrees Celsius. But 77 degrees is like that, a room temperature, kind of like that nice median right there for if you're trying to warm someone. And like I said, the same instances go from what's going on inside. If you can, get a nice warm cup of soup, keep them bundled up. And again, you want to reach out to an emergency professional, call 911 if you have that option, or if you know someone, a medical professional, or just take them to the hospital if you have that option, depending if you're stuck in a blizzard. There's so many different scenarios that I don't have enough time to go over them. But those are just some of the brief scenarios I could say that would help. So we can kind of recap, how to distinguish someone if they're going through hypothermia. And some people may not even know. You got stuff like shivering, exhaustion, confusion, their hands are a bit fumbly, memory loss, slurred speech, drowsiness, things like that. You know what I mean? Those are some signs of hypothermia. And like I said, it differs on the person as well. Old people are more susceptible to it. Babies have different signs of hypothermia. They may have bright red skin, bright red skin, and their skin will be cold at the touch. They'll be very low energy, very lethargic. So I just wanted to throw that in there. Hopefully no one will ever experience that situation. But again, you want to take action as soon as possible. I mean, it could be life-saving in regards to some of the things that we've discussed. And, let's go over some of those bullet points. Oh, I know I got them somewhere here. Just I like redundancy, so I'm going to repeat myself a little bit. You want to get the person into a warm room or shelter. You want to remove any wet clothing that the person is wearing. You want to warm the center of the person's body, chest, neck, head, and groin using an electric blanket if possible, or wool blankets. You can also use skin-to-skin contact. I know that sounds crazy, but under loose clothing, it's just your body heat can help warm their body heat, if that makes any sense. If you have clothing, towels, sheets, just anything like that that's dry and that can help warm this person. Once you have that body temperature back up, you just want to make sure that you keep this person dry. You want to keep their body wrapped. You want to include their entire body, from the head, neck, shoulders, core, and all that stuff like that. And then again, you want to get that person to seek medical proper attention after that, after you can get them stabilized somewhat, while you're waiting on that. If worst case scenario and someone passes out, that's when things become more serious. And hopefully, I don't know if you guys out there, if you know how to use CPR, in regards to resuscitation, things like that, and that's going to be a whole other subject on doing CPR, but if you're doing CPR and you know how to do CPR and you're certified on CPR, you also want to keep the person warm in that whole process. But again, if you guys have questions in regards to this, I love people who email me, people who write comments below with their suggestions or with their input. I really enjoy that. It makes it more interactive because there may be some things that I'm missing or maybe some things that I'm forgetting to add into this topic. And having your guys' input helps me even learn more as well. Again, so, simple things, man, like, chocolate, cheap, these things may be cheap. I don't know, will this focus on that? Yeah, cheap survival reflective blankets. These are a little bit better because they're a lot bigger, a lot more durable. And no, I'm not sponsored by anybody. This is just stuff that I buy and add to my preps and stuff like that. So, that being said, hopefully I went over some general information in regards to hypothermia on this Medical Monday. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. God, I can't speak. But and if you have any questions or anything that you want to add to this topic. So today I got to go to the post office box, and I guess by request of you, the subscribers, I've decided to do a few things. I'm going to get a P.O Box. So some people says, well, what do you want a P.O Box for? And the reason I want a P.O Box is people have said, they would like to send me a letter or a card or something like that, which is awesome. And if anybody, once I get that P.O Box, I'll put it in my description down below. I'll put it on my About Me section. And anything that I receive from you guys, let's say if it's a letter or just a thank you letter, and you want me to share that with people online or on YouTube, I will. If you prefer not to be, not to have that recognition, that's fine as well. So it's not like, I just think it's something viable to have. People want to reach out to you. People, like to send you things and stuff like that. Plus, I think it'd work good also for if I end up ever working with, some companies and they want to send me information or send me products to show you guys and stuff like that down the road. Trying to think what's that. I do have to mail out a coffee mug that someone won on a stream not too long ago. I got some coffee to send out to a good friend of mine. It'll be a surprise. Maybe you know who you are, maybe you don't. But you'll be receiving some good old-fashioned Café Bustelo. I think you'll enjoy it. It's something that I drink all the time, man. I love it. I've been drinking it for so long. It's my heritage. I mean, I swear my dad gave me Café Bustelo, which is a Cuban coffee, since I was just a tot, man, just like a little guy. And I know I'm veering off the Medical Monday thing, but, sometimes I just have some things I wanted to share with you guys and stuff like that. Other than that, I have read some comments that some people are having trouble finding my email. It is GreyManPrepping@gmail.com. I'm also going to try to find out if I can put it somewhere and easier to find other than the About Me section, because I know I've seen it there, but maybe I need to put it on my descriptions on all my videos and stuff that I upload. Anyways, it's been a pleasure as always. Appreciate you guys sitting here with me and watching the videos and taking some of your time and spending it with me. This is GreyMan Prepping, and I think that's about it. So we're going to wrap it up. I'll see you guys on the rebound. God bless. Have a great day.